Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated.
This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight. Citing all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light is my far past his way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong. I'm going to be a debater today, Josh Ballard.
Hi, I'm Joe, and I'll be taking my talents to the debate pool today.
And I'm Ryan, and I will also be debating.
Well, it is officially basketball season again. And I don't know about you all, but I am excited. Personally, as Kentuckians who love basketball, this is like I guess, technically a second Christmas, even though it's just the continuation of the season that's already been going, and they're inside of a bubble. And
I almost feel like this is a better way to run the NBA because now we're going to appreciate the end of the season so much more. Not that anybody watches anything but the end of the season anyway, but now it's like, oh man, we get another season this year. Like, I'm way more excited than I would normally be.
I've watched a lot of ESPN 8, the Ocho, and I'm just glad to be able to watch a sport while I know all the rules. I watched that water skipping contest, and it was exciting and fun, but I don't know how you score on that. So,
I was gonna say the drought, the sports drought that we've been going through has been just absolutely terrible.
It's been brutal.
I mean, I watched all of The Last Dance not once but twice. For those of you who haven't watched it, it's very good. It's a Michael Jordan documentary. It shows you
best documentary.
A, how much of a great basketball player he is, and B, how much of an enormous prick he was. It's just
not a good person.
It's phenomenal.
Punched a teammate.
But after watching that, I also had to go back and watch Space Jam, which is maybe, I mean, can we say it's the greatest movie of all time? Is that fair to say?
It's up there.
The greatest movie overall?
Greatest movie overall.
Probably.
I mean,
Probably.
You can talk about The Godfather, Goodfellas, whatever you want. It's Space Jam.
When you talk about Michael Jordan, Bill Murray in the same movie, like...
Let's not forget Wayne Knight.
And Wayne Knight, the Wayne Knightiverse.
Newman was there. It was great.
So I watched that movie and I got to think, and I was like, okay, I think, we need to do our own Monstars draft. Now, if you're familiar with the Monstars, they were like 5 little aliens, needed to compete with the Looney Tunes, so they stole the basketball powers of Sean Bradley, Charles Barkley, Muggsy Bogues, and they went and they competed with the Patrick Ewing. They went and competed with the Looney Tunes and ultimately lost to them, not to spoil the movie. But we want to do the same thing. We wanted to find out who could give these aliens the basketball powers they would need to win in a game of basketball. But in true Tell Me I'm Wrong fashion, we couldn't just do basketball players because that's boring. Nobody wants to listen to that. So we decided we would do, probably the next closest thing
to second best thing to actual NBA players. Not
second best
players,
thing to actual NBA players.
Not international players. The next level of competition and athletic ability.
And those are the supreme athletes known as TV Sitcom Dads. And we have a list that is enormous. We're going to post it on our social media page so you can play along at home. But I
would call it unrivaled.
Unrivaled?
Every NBA team could draft off this list and there'd still be players waiting.
Yeah, it is all encompassing. Now, we couldn't do this debate one-on-one because we were all too psyched up about it, so we decided to do a triple threat again. And as you all know, last time that did not go super well. We ended up tying on our national anthem episode. So
But don't worry because the people did choose the right winner.
Yeah, everybody felt really bad for Ryan.
Listen, you know what? If it's a pity vote, I'll take it. I'll take the pity vote. I'm not above it.
You're absolutely not. So with that in mind, we wanted to figure out a way we could avoid that. So we decided we needed to bring in a new moderator, and I guess we could call him a commissioner since we're doing a draft. Maybe the commissioner of the Monstars League.
Oh, that's a good title.
And that is our friend Bo McMillan, who Joe's going to give a nice introduction to.
Yeah. So Bo and I have known each other for like 13 or 14 years. We went to college at EKU, go Colonels, Eastern Kentucky University. and we lived with each other for a while we were at school. We've kept really good contact. We have a text there with all of our friends. We talk in pretty regularly. There's a lot of video games, sports talk, a lot of Reddit videos about people falling on their face. It's pretty good. But I'm glad he's here. He's definitely going to be good at this. He's made to be the commissioner of Moron Mountains Basketball League, the MMBL. So, Bo, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm doing great, and I come locked and loaded with some hot takes on Space Jam.
Oh, well, please indulge us.
I was going to say, I would love to hear those.
Listen, I mean, I think we can all agree that Space Jam was formidable for us as we were growing up, and I defy any other movie to have a better soundtrack.
Agreed.
Than the Space Jam soundtrack. Like, not even a contest.
Not a hot take.
Not a hot take. No, that's fairly cold. I watched Space Jam probably it's about a month ago, I think, for the first time in a decade or more. I don't even know.
That's too long of a drought.
It was a really long drought. And guys, I think that movie sucks.
Whoa, okay.
The actual movie, you may not be wrong.
Yeah.
There. I mean,
I just, it was like an hour and a half of just disappointment and childhood memory crushing.
See, that's because you made the mistake of rewatching it, because the false memories that we've all created about how good it was have to be sustained with not rewatching. You have to just let it exist in your mind as this perfect piece of fiction.
I've experienced what Bo is talking about with this. When Bo logged on to our little Zoom call here, he had a picture of the White Ranger come up originally. I've went back and watched the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV series on Netflix. It is awful. You want to hear something that's worse?
That isn't true. I can't get on board that ship.
The Goosebumps TV series, also on Netflix. Oh my gosh, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Here's my main issue with Space Jam. It's not my main issue, but let me just pose this question to you guys, and I don't mean to just take over your podcast, but this is important. But
this is what our podcast is. You are fitting in very well.
Let's talk about how realities work in this movie, okay? Mm-hmm. So we know that there is the reality where Michael Jordan and Bill Murray and all those guys play golf, right? That is our reality. That is the real world.
That very real.
And then the Looney Tunes live underground or whatever, in a separate Looney Tunes reality. Uh-huh. But where is Moron Mountain? Because when they cut to that scene, they just go into outer space of our real world. They don't go into a new reality, and yet everyone is a cartoon. Yeah. So where is that? How does that fit in?
I tell you what scared me when I rewatched this is when he tells him he needs his North Carolina shorts. He wore them underneath his shorts at every NBA game. They just came up, they crawled on the ground and then just came up in his living room. These Looney Tunes can enter our house at any time.
You all are acting as if this is unprecedented, but the fact that the world doesn't have to make sense. Everybody saw Inception and loved it, but then all of a sudden you see Space Jam and it makes no sense and everybody hates it. I don't personally think that's fair.
I understand that the suspension of disbelief is something that we all have to carry into movies with us, but I think that it can only go so far, and I would argue that Inception actually does a very good job of building its world, unlike Space Jam.
It's a dream within a dream within a dream inside your head.
Well, I think the biggest mistake you all are making is that every time that you go into watching a movie like that, you always have to enter into it with childlike wonder. You have to see it through children's eyes. And personally,
I agree with Josh on this.
Personally, for me, Space Jam was, one of my fondest memories of being a child. I went and saw it at the movie theater with my dad the night before I got my tonsils out. And up to that point, I was a tiny little kid, and I got my tonsils out, and I grew and grew and grew, just like the Monstars. And so I really feel connected with everything that happened in that film. So I am not going to be here for any Space Jam slander.
You got your tonsils taken out and became a man? Is that what you're implying?
Yeah, that's how you become a man. Have you not had your tonsils taken out?
Yeah, that's how it works. I got my tonsils taken out in 4th grade, and then I became a man.
Yeah, you become a man when your tonsils drop.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Nevertheless, I think we should probably get started with this draft, because It's going to take a while. We're just going to be straight up here. It's going to take a while because we just have so many options.
I'm really excited for everyone to see the list that we have compiled.
It's truly appalling. You will begin to wonder
a little bit shocking
whether or not we have lives outside of this podcast, and the answer is no, unfortunately.
But no one does right now. So
that's true. Nobody has a life right now.
Doesn't make me feel as bad.
No, we can't leave our houses. It's fine. So what we're going to do is Joe, Ryan, and myself are going to draft 5 TV sitcom dads to become monsters on our Monstars team and compete for the bragging rights of Moron Mountain. And Bo is going to, I suppose, just dunk on us, embarrass us for our terrible picks, and then ultimately pick the winner. But I do think, just to be fair, I think we need to do a snake draft. Do we all agree?
Agreed.
Agree.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So for those who don't play fantasy football or anything like that, that means we'll go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We'll work our way through there. In order to kind of, I guess, decide who gets to go first, how should we do that? What do you guys think?
Well, I think Rochambeau over Zoom would not be very exciting. So maybe a pick a number situation.
I think that's fair. Bo, do you want to kind of, what are we picking between here?
I mean, you just want to go 1 through 10, make it easy.
I think that's
I was
fair.
thinking like 98 through 160, but that's fine.
No, we can make 1 through 10 work, I think.
I'm more of a small numbers math kind of guy. I do have a quick question, though, before we get started. Josh, you kind of assumed that I was going to dunk on you guys, but what happens if I like all your picks?
Well, you're going to like all my picks, so you just be nice to me, but the other 2 are definitely going to completely shit the bed on this one. And so I'm going to need you to just be mean to them because my picks are going to be flawless.
Before we get started, I did have a thought that transforming TV dads into the Monstars would be a great first avenue for our very first fan art. I think there's some really great options out there. I won't mention any specific dads
we don't want to
yet,
spoil them yet,
but I do feel like this is going to be a great avenue for our many fan artists to really go wild.
That's a lot of fan art too. That's 15 dads.
Yeah, that's right. It's the team
gotta
picture.
make the whole roster.
Yeah,
We'll keep you busy.
So speaking of this roster, I've just been sent the list. Who made this?
it's a collaboration.
Yeah, we work together on it. It's kind of our life's work, to be honest.
There's a lot of people on there.
Welcome to the brains of Tell Me I'm Wrong.
It's sick and twisted.
It's a little scary.
This is fantastic, and I'm excited. So let's do 1 to 10 because my brain can't keep up with numbers that are in 3 digits or greater.
All right, sounds good.
And I guess I'll just pick my favorite number and then see which one of you gets the closest.
Sounds good.
Joe, why don't you make the first pick?
I'm going to go with 7.
Seems like a good pick, but kind of cliche and a very lucky number. I'm going to go with $1, Bob. 1.
So you don't want to play this game? Is that what you're saying?
All right, well, I'm going to go 3. Split the difference.
I'm screwed.
Well, as cliche as it may be, my number was 7.
Oh.
There it is. So does that mean that Josh is last?
Well, I think I should get the opportunity to choose if I want to go first or last. And
I actually agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I
because
like that.
there's definitely strategy to going third here.
But I feel like with only 3 of us,
Picking 2 in a row is big.
It is big, but there's only 3 of us. It's not like when you do like your fantasy football draft and there's 14 people in your group, and it's like, okay, I'll be back in 25 minutes to do my next pick. So I think I'm going to go first. So with my first pick, I'm going to go with a floor general, someone who can control the floor, see the floor, make that extra pass, and someone who can get me a bucket when I need to get a good bucket and stop a run. My first pick, standing at 6'3", play some high school ball, very competitive. It's going to be Jim Halpert, played by John Krasinski from The Office.
He was a pretty good basketball player in the basketball episode.
He did.
He was taking on Roy.
That's where Pam really realized, man, this Jim Halpert is something to behold on the court and in life.
I do think you also get points because that is the best Office episode.
Hands down.
They peaked
Hands
early.
down.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if you guys listen to Office. I don't know if you guys listen to Office Ladies, but I learned a lot about the basketball episode, and that episode of their podcast made me love that episode of the TV show even more. All right, excellent pick. He was also my first pick, so represent. good choice there.
Man, wait. So you're saying that Jim Halpert was number one on the big board?
Number one on the big board.
He wasn't even in my top 5.
Well, that's because you don't know basketball.
Well, that's interesting, but I don't think anybody has my next pick. This is from one of my favorite shows, and clearly the best forward out there on this board, and that is Marshall Erickson of How I Met Your Mother fame.
He was my number 2 pick.
I was gonna say you're getting a good pick. He was actually my number 1 on my big board because he has, I mean,
he's tall and he's skilled,
and he's also a fan of the Washington Generals, so he has heart.
He is.
And he was known as Vanilla Thunder back in the day.
That's right. The ghost in the post. He hasn't played defense, but
I just want to say, too, I'm impressed with how on board you guys are with one another, because this is not a short list.
No.
There's there's 61 names on the list.
There's an embarrassment of riches of names on this list, and the fact that you guys all, or at least 2 of you, had the same one, and then at least 1 or 2 in the top.
If there are 2 things that good Kentuckians know, it's sitcom dads and how to pick a basketball team.
Okay. Well, it appears by picking $1, I actually lucked into the best spot on this board. So I'm going to make 2 picks in a row here. Now, when I was trying to think of what I needed in my Monstars, I needed a rim protector first. I needed a big guy to anchor my middle. And so I went with someone who was in one of my favorite shows when I was little, which is kind of weird. It was on Nick at Night at the time, and that is Herman Monstar from the Monstars.
No.
Oh, that's very good. That is very good.
That's a sleeper pick. I feel like you're getting a lot of value at 3.
Ton of value. He's going to be able to hold down the middle. He's already a monster. So we're just enhancing his monster abilities. He's already 7'6". He's enormous. He was surprisingly athletic anytime when he played baseball or did anything on that show. And I mean, he's basically our Sean Bradley, if we're being honest here. So I'm going to go with Herman Monstar for my first pick. Now, for my second pick, I'm going to start out at guard, and I'm going to take a young man standing 5'11". He was a king of parking lot basketball, and that is Christopher Turk from Scrubs.
Okay. That's an excellent choice.
I feel like he can run I don't want to put him at the point because he is a little shot happy. He was always trying to be the star. But I'm going to play him at the 2 guard, pair him with Herman Monstar, and I don't think he's going to play any defense. But the kid can ball.
But listen, he also has that Michael Scott range where he's going to be shooting. He's not shy away from those shots.
No. So I've already started this off, and I'm killing it, I think.
Yeah, Josh, I do want to just back up real fast to your Herman Monstar pick. I think an underrated factor or something that you're going to get out of him is dude was head of the household. So you have drafted just an all-around leader of a team. Not just a big man, but someone who's going to come in and make a difference on really any squad he gets put into.
Just the thought I put into it, just, so good.
So we're back to me. I've watched for years Calipari build these teams, and there's been a lot of different ways that he's chosen to build. And I think I'm going to go with one of the patented approaches of the let's call it the late 80s, and that's the Twin Towers. So I was hoping that I would be able to do this, and I am going to choose Marvin Erickson, Marshall Erickson's father. So I got a father-son duo, the Twin Towers in the post. Marshall learned everything that he learned about basketball from Marvin, so I'm feeling pretty good about that pick.
Now he is pretty old,
and he had a heart attack.
Listen, old man ball is real, and it's good.
I don't discount that, and I mean having the Twin Towers is pretty imposing. But I mean,
not even that; they've got that familial connection, like Andrew and Aaron Harrison had.
And you got 2 bigs passing to each other. It's going to really change the game. I feel good about my 2 pick.
I think that's fair. Joe?
All right. So the 3 picks that happened in the past were all 3 of my top 5 picks.
Yes.
So, but I'm ready. I'm going to go with someone that I don't think you all would have thought of, but he's a proven winner. He's in great shape, extremely athletic. That's Mitch Buchanan, the lead lead lifeguard from Baywatch, his son Hobie. I think he's 6'4", coming in at that small forward position. Peak physical condition. He's never going to stop. And you think that he can't handle someone like Herman Monstar? No, those waves and those people, he's pulled people just as big as Herman Monstar out of the water. So he's ready.
I'm just imagining a Monstar type character with chest hair and little red shorts. And I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to forget it.
I don't know if they adopt their clothing.
I hope they do.
I think it's an option.
I think they have to take on elements of the personality they're taking from.
Absolutely.
I think I've never seen Baywatch, but I know just from osmosis that they run a lot. So I really do like that pick. I do just, as a former lifeguard, I do have to say that the size of the person you're rescuing does not matter if your skills are good. So I don't know if that's a great argument in terms of his strength.
Because he's got to fight not only the person, but also the waves. Because he's in the Pacific, so waves are kind of big there.
You had me convinced when you chose David Hasselhoff. I mean, is anybody going to argue against David Hasselhoff? Nobody's going to want to guard him because he's so beautiful.
And plus, he can give us a rousing. He can sing for the crowd before the games. So,
not to mention a leader.
He led Baywatch. And then he was played by The Rock. I mean, that's a good 1-2 punch. Believe me, I tried to find
But you're not getting The Rock.
No, I'm getting David Hasselhoff. I tried to find a TV show where The Rock was a dad, but he does not have
The
kids.
Rock already failed you.
He does. All right, so for my third pick, I think I'm going to stay with the show I've already talked about. I'm going to go with someone who's got a hot hand, great, Mr. Duncan Fleeka himself, Daryl Philbin.
I got to cross him off.
Also from The Office. I think he can do kind of like a combo guard option, the 2 to 3. He can switch and go. 6'2", great spot up shooter, and him and Jim are friends. They go athlete together. They know each other. It's going to be a good combo up top.
All right, so it's coming to my third pick. Luckily, my number 3 is still on the board, and he is. You know, he's played by a man who has passed from this world. But by the heart of the Canadian acting world, and that is Mr. Jason Seaver, played by Alan Thicke. I just don't think you can get better than Alan Thicke as shooting guard on your team. I think the confidence that he has. I think he actually can also be one of those Otto Porter type guards where he can play a little point. He's got the knowledge. He's got the ability to see the floor. I can really see him shining, especially because I am leaning hard into the old man basketball. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I can tell.
But Marvin and Jason are really going to be jiving there on my team.
Lord help us.
As the commissioner of this league, it's important that I know the players, and it's important that I'm able to pick out talents that they may have that may not be immediately recognizable. And I think one of the things that Mr. Seaver has going for him is his ability to just really tighten up and not crack under pressure. And I think that's beautifully demonstrated in the fact that one of his kid's friends, his name is Boner, and he never cracks
totally
a smile.
Not once.
One time when he says this dude's name throughout the entire series.
And I mean, I also just love and respect a man who can really speak to his kids over that soft piano music at the end of an episode. And I really think that having those skills in the huddle are gonna really contribute to a win.
Lord help us if we have David Hasselhoff and Alan Thicke in the bubble. I mean, just the chest hair alone. It's too much chest hair. We can only have one of them. I think someone's going to have to make a trade or something. So now I get 2 more back-to-back picks. So I need to address a couple needs because it's going to be a while before I get my 5th pick. So one thing that I have a long, lanky guy. I got Chris Turk, who's going to be out there shooting, not necessarily, a great defender. I feel like I need some muscle. I need someone who's really going to bring the pain at my small forward position. And so I decided to go with Terry Jeffords from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
This is a great pick.
Played
This is a
by
fantastic
Terry
pick.
Crews. I mean,
I don't think there's a better small forward on this list. I think you have picked the best 3 on this list, and to get that pick as late as you have, you know what? I'm a little worried.
you should be. So now I want to play hard-nosed basketball. Like I want to dominate people defensively while still having Chris Turk out there shooting the 3. So what I'm going to do is with my next pick, I'm going to dress the muscle need again. And so I'm going to take Julius Rock from Everybody Hates Chris, who is also played by Terry Crews. So I'm going to have 2 Terry Crews.
So, okay, are we playing full court 5-on-5 basketball?
Yes.
I'm just worried if your team's going to actually be able to run to the other end of the floor.
Terry Crews is a supreme athlete.
He's big.
And
He's big.
Listen,
I just love the fact that we're going to get 2 Monstars that look exactly like Terry Crews. He's already a Monstar.
That's true.
And so now, granted, I will give you this. His character in Everybody Hates Chris is not like his character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Doesn't really focus on his athletic achievements, but he's still Terry Crews. And that can't be discounted. So now I've got length, beef,
there's beef,
and a good shooter on the outside. And so I
don't like how you phrase that at all.
I'm not the best with phrasing on the show. So I feel like I've got a pretty solid squad. And I've got my eye on someone who's going to be the perfect complement to those guys. So please don't pick them in the next 2.
All right. So I feel like I have well established. I feel like I'm creating the sort of the good guys. Like I have the Erickson father-son duo, and I got Jason Seaver. I think what I need is somebody who's going to be scrappy, somebody who's going to get in there, get a loose ball, get ready, get down on defense, and that is going to be Hal Wilkerson of Malcolm in the Middle fame, Bryan Cranston. The scrappy attitude, the willingness to go and do the dirty work, the things that need to get done. I don't feel like I had that yet on the team. He's not a large man, but we of the Kentucky basketball fandom know that you do not have to be big. We have Tyler Ulis, a very beloved player here. So
Muggsy Bogues was a Monstar.
Exactly. So Hal Wilkerson, 4th pick, addressing the needs of the scrappiness.
Interesting pick. He was on my list too. But
it sounds like me and Joe were really on the same vibe.
He was pretty far
here.
down on my list, 18 of 20, so I probably wasn't going to get to him. But so with my last 2 picks, as a good GM, you got to be able to adapt, improvise, and overcome, and that's what I've done here. I've decided to change up my lineup a little bit. I'm moving Jim Halpert to the 2, Daryl Philbin to the 3, Mitch Buchanan to the 4. I'm going to draft Eric Taylor, head coach of the Dillon I think it's Dillon Panthers.
Now, does that count as a sitcom?
From Friday nights, it's syndicated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Probably didn't like this sitcom.
I don't know that that's a sitcom. I don't want to get on a technicality here.
Wait, the commissioner just made
I was going to
grimace.
ask before we started, because I think the definition of a sitcom can be so general.
It's a situational
Especially now
comedy.
that TV has changed a lot, but I think we're going to have to lead this up. We're going to have to lead this up to Bo.
Well, I will make an argument before Bo makes a decision, because I don't know if you've ever seen the first episode of Friday Night Lights, but that would not be defined as a comedy. That is...
Well, but you can't base an entire series on one episode.
It kind of sets the tone. I mean, the funniest thing that happens in that series is when they kill a guy in season 2 and never address it the rest of the show.
Well,
But other than that, I don't know that it's necessarily a
if you
comedy.
feel the need to attack my picks because you're nervous, that's fine.
I'm not nervous by any means. I'm just saying I'm here to play by the rules, and it seems like someone didn't get the memo.
The way I understood it, we did
I will
TV
say,
dads, but that's fine. If you're gonna,
in Joe's defense, that name was on the list that we were all looking at for a much time before starting to record. If you had an issue, I believe that should have been addressed pre-draft. My vote would be allow the pick.
I think that's a bad vote, because it is a Google Doc that is shared between the 3 of us that is still editable. We don't know when Joe swapped that pick in. He might have slipped it in right while we were recording, knowing we wouldn't know any of the
I
lights.
saw Eric Taylor and did not think of it as an issue.
Well, I think you're wrong, but I will leave it up to Bo. I just hope he takes my very ironclad argument into consideration.
I will say I rebuff the idea that Friday Night Lights is a sitcom. I think that is incorrect. But I think Ryan makes a good point in that if this was an established list of characters that you have had for some time, though I have no proof that this is actually the case, if at least 2 out of the 3 of you say that's it, then I would award that to Joe.
Also, not to give Joe any more credit, Eric Taylor was a couple more down on my list. So
you're both wrong.
I was also okay with that pick. Not really, never even having the thought of, oh, he's not a sitcom dad.
I focus more on just TV dads. I didn't know Mr. Technicality over here was going to come at it because he's nervous.
I'm not nervous. I have a great team, but you can say whatever you want to say.
Say what you want to say. I mean, if you're scared.
No.
So I'm sticking with my Eric Taylor pick because I believe the commissioner said it was okay. So you can shut your mouth.
I think the pick has been approved. The pick is in. The pick has been approved. We are good.
He stands 6'1". He is my new floor general. He's feeding Daryl. He's feeding Jim. My last pick, Josh, you wanted some meat in the middle, meat on the wings. I got you, buddy.
There's not another Terry Crews available.
I'm going with Philip Banks, Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as my anchor in the middle, standing 6'5". He is a whole lot of man, and he's got 6 fouls to give when you come in that lane. So
see, he is a businessman, and also a large man.
He also grew up in North Carolina. Listen, you want to talk about large men? Josh has Herman Monstar, who struggles to walk, so much less run down the court to defend.
Do we have a height for Herman Monstar, by the way? Did we ever pull
7'6".
The actor's actual height is 6'5". So,
but Herman Monstar is 7'6".
Oh.
We're not talking about actor.
Well, Philip Banks is 6'5". He is my prototypical big butt guy for the middle of the court. Grew up with Will, grew up with Carlson. He played some ball. I say what y'all want. He may be ready, but he may be a businessman, but that doesn't mean he wasn't an athlete in the past.
Now, I will say this. I don't know how much he's going to help you all over the court, but the man, I'm sure, can get hella rebounds.
That's all I need him to do. Listen, with Jim, Daryl, and Mitch, I don't need anybody to score. I need that man to defend the middle and get rebounds.
Well, and you look, he's also like a very, like, he is some of the speeches he gave Will were inspiring.
And he does not back down from a fight.
How many times did he throw out DJ Jazzy Jeff?
That man is ready to go for a fight. He doesn't back down from any argument. Same news as Coach Taylor. Mitch Buchanan risked his life every day at his job. I love my team. I'll take my team.
I would say Phil is a great example of dad strength.
Eric and Phil,
he's got that dad energy.
Strength. You're absolutely your old man strength. You do not want to play basketball against because they're terrifying.
Like they're not going to display it all the time, but in the moments that it really counts, watch out.
All right, so we're up to my last pick. I was really between 2 different guys, but I think I'm leaning one direction. So this is a father of 3, and I feel like at some point in the show he either plays basketball or coaches basketball or something.
Oh, no.
But that is Floyd Henderson, played by John Marshall Jones. I thought
you were going for the person I was eyeing.
Oh, I must have gotten close.
Real close.
He was actually not on my list to begin with, but as we started going, I had to adjust to the teams that have been created and think about matchups, think about, what kind of things have I got on my team, and I feel like I was missing a little bit of that, just all around player, like can do it all, can grab a rebound, can run the court. And I feel like I'm picking that up in Floyd Henderson, Mr. Smart Guy Dad.
Floyd Henderson was very high on my big board, and had I not taken the Terry Crews back to back, he was up there. Had one of you all snagged one of my Terrys. So he of all the sitcom TV dads was probably in better shape than 99% of them.
Dude was fit.
B, he did coach basketball while he was there. He coached TJ's team. And the dude at that time, probably in his late 30s, early 40s, could still go. He looked like an athlete. And I felt like, he was a very good dad. He was
also another dad that always stood up for his kids, wasn't going to back down from a fight from anybody. So I really feel like he's a glue guy.
I felt like he could be a floor general.
I feel like he can play the role that I really need him to play. All right, Josh, finish this out.
Now, he was probably the person I was going to go with if you all didn't leave my last pick alone. So when I'm looking at my team, again, length, muscle, an outside shot, I need someone who's going to stretch the floor for our team. So I need a power forward who can shoot the ball decent, do a lot of little things, and who I think would just be the classic glue guy who's just going to be a team player. And there is no more wholesome team player on the board than Mr. Danny Tanner from Full House.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
He would definitely get up there and clean the backboard. There's no doubt about that.
That's true. He's going to clean the boards. Now, he is 6'4", and there were multiple instances in the show where he was a big basketball fan and played basketball. So he taught Comet, their golden retriever, how to shoot. So he was kind of the precursor to Air Bud, if we're being honest. Secondly, he practiced with the Golden State Warriors and then finally he played in a charity basketball game with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And he was also...
And I'm sure he learned a lot in that one game.
He did. He learned so much. Now, Jesse did hit a game-winning shot, but Jesse was not a particularly good basketball player. Danny was serviceable. And on top of that, I just feel like I said, he's going to be the glue that's going to hold our team together. He held that household together.
Talk about a blended family.
2 crazy men, so many children, but somehow he was able to keep it all together and lead his family forward. And so that's why I'm going to pick Danny Tanner for my last spot on my team.
Josh, I like this pick too because, as you mentioned, he brought the house together, and as we saw in so many episodes, it was not always easy. And there were a few times that he lost his nerve, right? There were a few times that he lashed out, but an episode never went by that he didn't go back and apologize and set things right and show the standard. And I think that demonstrates a lot about his character.
All right, well, we have the 15 picks. I think we need to give Bo some time to look at these teams, figure out which one is really going to dominate. And while we head to our newly conjoined moderator's office,
it is. And we have Mega Desk now.
That's right.
3 desks. We did go with an open concept, which I was kind of against. I was more in favor of cubicles, but
we're not going into that again, Josh.
It's just it bothers me so much. We collaborate enough. We don't need to do it when we work.
We need the sight lines. Okay. We're not having this discussion. All right.
Okay.
Let's go to the moderator's office.
All right. Now that we're settled into our new office and I'm looking at Ryan and Joe in the face, I'm going to read the ad this week and just pretend that I am in a cubicle by myself instead of this awful, awful open concept office. So we've been talking about them all month, and now we're coming to the end of the month, and it is more important than ever on this last couple days of July that you go and you pay these folks a visit. And I'm, of course, talking about Southern Drawl Creations. Southern Drawl Creations was formed by a wonderful Kentucky couple in 2014. You've heard us talk about it, but they offer Southern decor and pop culture themed glassware, as well as their popular and affordable custom design pieces. Now, if you want to get a logo, maybe you want to get our logo, your own monogram, phrases, quotes, really anything that you can dream up, they can do it. Southern Drawl Creations loves designing goods that bring people together, and now you can find their timeless pieces at many retailers, as well as online on their website at www.southerndrawl, that's drawl with an L, creations.com. For these last couple days of July, if you head over to their website and use the promo code WRONG, all lowercase, you will get 15% off of your purchase. Go there now and pick up those new glasses that you need for a delicious pour of bourbon, lively tailgate, or a quiet evening alone, which I can't wait to spend with myself after I get out of this shared office space. This is a nightmare.
Josh, it's a beautiful office.
Ryan, I'm reading the ad. I need you to leave me alone. This is what I'm dealing with.
I'll go back to our basketball court.
Okay, please leave. Jeez, guys. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Like I said, if you head over to their website at www.southerndrawcreations.com and use the promo code WRONG, all lowercase letters, you can get 15% off your entire purchase. Head over there now while you still have the time and pick up those beautiful glasses that you need for your next event. All right, let's, guys, just, Joe, what are you doing? You're not even working. We came in here to work. What are you doing? What are you drawing? Is that David Hasselhoff as a Monstar?
I need some art to put behind my desk.
Oh my God. We've left Bo out there long enough. Can we just
Actually, Joe, that's pretty good. Can we put the Tell Me I'm Wrong logo on that?
No, we can't. We can't do that. Let's go back to the main office. Bo's sitting there by himself. We've been entirely too rude. This has gone on long enough.
Hey Joe, can you make me one of those drawings, but with Terry Crews?
Do you want it actual size?
Monstar size.
Guys,
Okay.
we can't be doing fan fiction right now. We're recording the podcast.
I don't know what you're talking
Do that
about.
on your own time. Okay. Anyways, Bo, I'm so sorry that we left you out here, and I'm so sorry that you had to witness that. That is just truly embarrassing.
Is this how it typically is for you
I mean,
guys?
I would
normal.
say, yeah, I'd say this is pretty standard. So, we're always hesitant to bring newbies in. So I'm sorry. Just ignore these guys.
You are only our second guest. Luckily, both guests have known most of the people on the podcast very well.
Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get any guests because these guys are idiots. So, okay. We made our 15 picks. I have a really great team. These two guys did okay. And so I think it's time we kind of give our final pitches to Bo, get Bo's thoughts on our teams, and then let him make the ultimate decision on whose team of Monstars is the best. So since Joe had the first pick, I think I'm going to let you make your final pitch first, and then Ryan can go, and then I'll go last. Definitely not stacking the deck for myself.
How convenient. Well, you know what? That's fine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down my picks and then lay down why your all's picks are bad. I drafted in a way to make sure that I had a complete team. From Eric Taylor at the point, Jim and Daryl on the wings, scoring. They were both able to shoot, both able to drive and dish. You got Mitch, who's extremely athletic, long, lanky, 6'4", and then Uncle Phil in the center. He's working those blocks, big butt, banging, getting rebounds, getting pushbacks. On defense, nobody's getting to the rack. My team is not only long and lanky, as Josh said he wanted, but can move. My team is going to be quick. They're going to be agile, and they're going to be able to get up and down the court, and they're going to run these other teams off the freaking floor. To be honest, I don't know who's going to handle the basketball for Josh's team. He's got 4 forwards and Chris Turk, who he wants to sit on the outside and dribble and shoot threes. Who's going to dribble? He can't shoot threes if no one can get the ball to him. They got to get it up the court. We're pressing full court the entire time except for Uncle Phil. He's guarding the rim. The rest of my guys, full court press. You're not getting it. We're scoring 100 a game. 40 minutes of hell. Ryan's got a really good team too, but his Twin Towers are going to be great, but I don't know if he has the guards to hang with my guards, to hang with Eric Taylor, Jim Halpert, and Daryl, and even Mitch, who can handle the ball as well. I just don't think defensively anybody's going to be able to D up and be able to score enough points to compete.
Now, I don't think 40 minutes of hell is going to work with a team that comprises of Daryl Philbin and Uncle Phil.
I was thinking, listen, you're making my points. It's my turn, Josh.
Yeah, Josh is notorious for stepping on people's feet.
He
in this
is,
podcast,
especially in the closing argument section.
Well, he gets so nervous he's going to lose again that he tries his best to make sure he can convince people.
Or perhaps I'm just very good at what I do.
No.
All right. So I've got the Twin Towers, Marshall and Marvin Erickson, who grew up playing hockey in Minnesota. They're going to be able to body people, and they are for sure going to be able to dribble circles around Phillip Banks in the post and pass to each other with their father-son connection that they have. Then I've got Jason Seaver and Hal Wilkerson, the old man game on the wings. They are passing to each other. They're setting everybody up. Hal Wilkerson getting in there. He's scrappy. He's picking up the 50-50 balls. He's making the right pass. He might not be the best shooter, but he's there. He's ready. He's ready to make the play that needs to be made. And then we got the glue guy, Floyd Henderson. He's there doing whatever needs to be done. He's going to get a rebound. He's going to drive the court. He's going to make a layup. He's all about the fundamentals. He's coached basketball. He's right in there. He's going to be the guy in the huddle who's, calling up the plays. He said, hey, you got to pick up this. He's going to call him out. And I really just, honestly, I don't even see a weakness in my team. If I'm looking at it, I don't see a weakness. I feel like I've got everything addressed. The Twin Towers and the old man game is really what I leaned into, and I feel like it's going to be executed.
It is. The weakness in your team would probably be age.
Or high cholesterol and heart problems.
Yeah, the 40-minute basketball game is going to be rough for them.
Listen, the arguments you're making apply to your team. Phillip Banks is like 60.
It applies to Uncle Phil. I give you that. But my 4 guys, they're running the entire time.
Also, Eric Taylor's like 45.
He's got old man strength. He's a football guy. He's out there in those Texas summer running 2-a-days. You don't think he's in good shape to do that himself? Come on.
Well, you all are going to argue athleticism and cardio, and I've got the team that's perfect for that. Now, I heard I heard what?
It's actually true. If you look at the 3 teams.
It's not true. Herman Monstar's not going to be able to get down the court.
He's dead. He can't die again.
But it doesn't matter. He may be dead on the other end if he can't get down there to score.
Listen, he's much more mobile than you think that he is. So
he can't walk. You must not have ever watched the Monsters like you said you could have.
He can run. I don't know if you ever watched the baseball episode.
You talked about Josh stepping on people's toes, but we got to let Josh.
I don't know if
points.
you've ever watched the baseball episode of the Monsters, but A, the man can hit dingers. Secondly, he can run the bases. Now, is he the fastest guy on the court? No. But with Sean Bradley? No. But when you translate that into a Monstar skill, it exaggerates some of their abilities, so he's going to be fine. Now, like I said,
he'll end up being like 30 feet tall.
Yeah, he won't be able to block. He won't be able to block shots if he's too tall.
He'll block him with his torso. It'll be fine. So, when I'm looking at my team, now I heard the criticism about not having someone who can handle the ball. You're saying Chris Turk's my only guard. That's going to be a major liability for me. But what you don't take into account is the fact that I have my own Ben Simmons, and that's Danny Tanner. Danny can play the point forward and handle the ball. He is a responsible, smart, careful person who is going to be sure to take care of the ball and take care of his teammates. He doesn't care how much he scores. He doesn't care what's going on. He's going to get the ball to Chris Turk. He's going to get the ball down to Herman Monstar in the post. He's going to get the ball to the Terrys. It's going to be great. So I don't need your criticism about ball handling. I have that covered. Now, like I said, we have Chris Turk on the outside. He's going to be shooting shots. Can't play defense probably, but we address that with the Terrys and our muscle in the middle. And
who's
then lastly,
the Terrys? I've only seen one Terry on your list.
We have Terry Jeffords and then Julius Rock. Both are Terry Cruzes.
Well, but
I'm just calling them the Terrys.
Matter.
Okay. Well, they're both Terry Crews, and that's all that matters to me. So I've, in my opinion, got the most complete team from a defensive and offensive perspective. I have no old men on my team other than Herman Monstar, who's already dead, as we said, so cardio is not a concern for him. And everybody else is a relatively healthy adult who's going to be able to compete on the basketball court. And
I think calling Terry Crews relatively healthy, it might be the most understated thing we've ever said on this podcast.
Okay, a very healthy Terry's. But Chris Turk's fine, Danny Tanner's fine, Herman Monstar's dead.
Yeah,
I've got my bases covered. That's really all I got to say.
And I'm gonna. Terry Crews is at least in his 40s in those TV shows. He has older children.
It doesn't matter. He could right now dunk on any one of us, and we are not even nearly as old as him.
The statement of you have no older men on your team is
he's not older.
40s. If you're calling Eric Taylor older,
I didn't call Eric Taylor older. I was talking about Uncle Phil.
I did.
Anyways, I think that I have pleaded my case and that I am correct, but I am most curious to hear what our commissioner has to think about what we've done.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I got to say I'm impressed. I mean, I saw the list literally 2 seconds before I started commenting on it, but I do think that there was a lot of thought put into this. I can tell that, you guys were trying to think outside of the box and really build a team, which I always appreciate. I do take qualms with a couple of the names that were left off of your lists. I, for one, think it's a crime that Hank Rutherford Hill didn't show up anywhere in this draft.
He was on my big board. I will say that.
Name a more all-American athlete than Hank Hill. This is a dude that idolizes the President's Fitness Challenge, that even though he has a son who will never achieve what he did, tries every day. How does 6'2", 220 sound?
Sounds good, but I'm curious what his opinions on basketball are, because if it's not football or hunting, he's not always very partial to it.
I feel like basketball is enough of an American sport that Hank Hill would
This is
take
true.
to
He's
it
also, I
pretty quickly.
believe, started in Kansas. Am I correct? Which means that's kind of in the realm of Texas, and he loves anything from that area. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, if it's anywhere near the great state of Texas, Hank Hill is going to be all over it. I think two, and this is one, I thought this guy would be like number one, Gomez Adams. and here's why. I may be wrong. I may have missed someone on here, but is any other sitcom dad on this list? Do any other sitcom dads have the capability of
I don't think so.
supernatural abilities? Because I just think that I think Gomez Adams would be capable of. Can I cuss?
Absolutely.
On this podcast. I think Gomez Adams could pull out some weird shit on the court that like nobody's expecting. And I know it's his abilities.
Like he turns into a bat.
Yeah, just like something weird that, right before it looks like the other team's going to score, boom, he's got it. And then lastly, I would just say Tim the Toolman Taylor. If we're talking about,
I was about to say, the fact that Joe did not pick Tim the Toolman Taylor is probably a bet that all of our listeners have just lost. Like when they saw that we were doing Sitcom Dads and Joe Robinson did not have Tim Taylor as his number one overall pick, I think that was the most shocking thing that I was really experiencing.
I was personally prepared for him to pick two Tim Allen characters, much like my Terry's, but he did not come through on this episode.
What was the name of Tim's neighbor who you only saw like the top half of his face?
Al or Wilson. Wilson.
This is an aside, but I once saw Joe go to a Halloween party as Wilson, and for the beard, instead of just putting a fake beard, he glued coffee grounds to his face.
That was Al, not Wilson.
Oh, sorry.
And I didn't glue coffee grounds to my face. I put corn syrup on there and then covered them in coffee grounds.
Was there not an easier way to do a beard?
I looked it up online. That's how they did a lot in Hollywood.
No,
they didn't.
That's what it said. But
is there a picture of this?
Oh, I got pictures.
Oh, please.
We're gonna need to put that up on the socials. Yeah.
But I also found out that I was doing that like the day of, so I had to quickly figure out how to do a full beard.
Man, that is the most Joe Robinson thing I've ever heard in my life.
All right, I think we've reached. It's time for the decision.
Well, guys, I've been poring over this decision for the last 2 or 3 minutes, and obviously had a lot of time to think very hard about this. I just want to say, before I really lay this down, it's been a pleasure to be here, and I'll give it to you. This was difficult. I'm really impressed with the 3 teams that you guys put together. I'm impressed with the forethought behind it. This was not an easy decision, but in the end, there was a very clear winner. And I'm not torn on this whatsoever. I do think that I'm leaving behind 2 good teams, but they're 2 good teams I'm happy to leave behind if that means I get to take the winning team. So, in the very end, I choose... Oh, sorry, hang on. I dropped my notes, guys. Hang on. Sorry. Hang on. All right. We're back. My pick for the top team, Josh Ballard.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
It was the 2 Terrys.
I think it's the combination. I think the Terrys is an excellent name. It reminds me of the Twins. And Herman Monstar up there. Like, again, the fact that you have a dead player on your team who, as we know from every zombie movie, is not hindered by cardiovascular ability. You don't really even need a 4th and 5th player, but you got him in Chris Turk and Danny Tanner.
I'm so proud of this moment, and I can just see Joe is so angry, and I just got the picture sent to me of him and his terrible beard, and it's given me life. And I might have peaked right now.
I mean, I think you've definitely peaked. I don't think there's any going anywhere from here. I feel like you might have already reached your quota for 2020. All right. Well, we actually do sincerely want to thank Bo McMillan for coming on our podcast. It's been wonderful having Bo. Anything you want to plug for yourself, or, you know, if you want to plug a charity or anything like that, whatever you want to plug, now is your time.
Oh man, I wasn't really prepared for this. I should have been. No, I'll just say really fast. Thank you guys for having me on. This was a blast. I don't know if I have a specific charity to promote, but you know, Black Lives Matter. Like, let's stick with that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Please wear a mask. Like, whenever you go outside, just do it.
Speaking of masks, you can go to our merch store on our website and buy some masks
There you
right
go.
now.
There's a plug back for you guys.
And I would definitely recommend everybody, if you have Instagram, go follow Bo_Link on Instagram. He posted a rad video today of him rollerblading through his city right now, Northern Kentucky, where he lives. And just get ready for great content like that regularly when you follow Bo on Instagram.
Yeah, I've decided I'm transitioning my Instagram account into a rollerblading account. So if you guys like, you know, rollerblading content, I'm going to be all over it here coming up soon.
I feel like the Venn diagram of people that enjoy rollerblading content and the people who listen to our podcast is just a circle. So I feel you're in the right spot.
It's got to be there. Yeah.
We want to thank everybody for listening. We really appreciate the support. We've really been seeing a lot of upticks in listens lately, and so that is all because of you. Make sure you keep sharing the show. We also want to thank Isle of 8 for the use of our theme song, Jean Jacket. You can check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere you find great music.
Yeah, and as always, guys, it'd be really great if you guys could, first off, give us a 5-star review, rate 5 stars, and give us a comment, and just share with a friend. Give us a follow on our socials. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. This is the best way for you to get in contact with us. Give us some story ideas. Tell them why my team would have been better. Or if there's a dad we forgot that you think should have been on the list, by all means, we're going to post our list to our social media accounts. But if we forgot somebody, by all means, call us out. Let us know. That's what we're here for.
And if you guys do follow me on Instagram and you just want to talk about King of the Hill, like, please DM me any day, anytime, any day.
Yeah, I was going to say, after we forgot about him, I was worried all the King of the Hill stands were going to come over here and climb in our mentions, but you're welcome in Bo's, it sounds like. So head over there.
Yeah. There's a safe space in my mentions for King of the Hill fans.
Well, while you're going online to send Bo some messages about your King of the Hill love, you can also head over to our website at tmiwpod.com. Over there, you will be able to find the glorious fan art of all the Space Jam characters that Joe drew in our moderator's office in stunning, horrifying detail. That might not actually be there, but what is there is you can sign up for our mailing list. You can send us an email and give us some ideas for the show. You can go on there and click the merch tab and buy the masks that I mentioned, t-shirts, mugs, notebooks, whatever you want. Just, it's on there. Just go buy it. There's some cool Later Losers t-shirts that I just got in the mail recently that is super dope. So go and grab that. And just check out that cool website and follow us on our socials.
We again want to say thank you to our sponsor, Southern Drawl Creations, for their sponsorship all this month. We hope that they'll be back sometime soon, but definitely use the promo code WRONG and get 15% off your purchase. Just a couple more days, so get in there and use that promo code. As always, there is one winner, but we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Everybody get up. It's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. All right.